Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning into Sin's Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So it is time for my June. Time is getting away from me. June reading wrap up. I only read 10 books this month. I'm really disappointed. I know some people are like, wow, 10, you read 10 books, that's great. I'm like, you don't understand. I usually read like 15 books a month. And I'm blaming it a lot on reader fatigue. I was really tired. Thank God I'm going on vacation next week. I was really, really tired this last month, and then I think 2 of these books really did put me in a reading slump. Like, I just didn't have the energy to read, so I was not reading as much, unfortunately. And yes, probably reader fatigue. Again, I read like 15, 16 books a month. I just have so many books, and I want to read them all. So I think reader fatigue really, really got to me this month. And 2 of the books that I just kind of like pushed through, because I'm just like, you know what, I'm already 4 books into the series. Like, I got to do this. I forced myself to read these last 2 books. So I think that's another thing that put me in the slump. Like, I just didn't have the desire to read these 2, but I was invested in finishing it, and I think that just kind of killed me a little bit. So let us get started. First book of the month, which was a really good book, The Flame and the Frost. This was an arc that was sent to me as part of a street team. Definitely not a book I think I would have picked up for myself, which is, again, why I like doing these street teams so much. It's a Jack Frost retelling, but with like Norse mythology, and you also have Fae as well. You have the Unseelie and the Seelie courts, and different Fae and wild Fae, and also there is some like Norse mythology woven into it as well. It was really unique, honestly. It is very slow burn. I do like slow burn. If you're gonna give me a romance, enemies to lovers, or a slow burn, those are like my 2 favorite ones. I think I like slow burn so much because it still allows the story to really flourish. And I'll talk about a perfect example of that later on with another book that I was like a little frustrated with. But I liked it a lot. I liked it more than I thought I would. I was just like, oh wow, this is really good. This is really interesting. I like the characterization. I like the character dynamics a lot. I liked the world building. The only thing, my biggest pet peeve, is the fated mates trope. I feel like it's really overplayed right now. Everything is like fated mates. I'm like, okay, I'm over that. Like, I really, really am over the whole fated mates trope. It's probably like my least favorite trope. You could just do the soulmate trope or just do the soulmate trope, but do it in a way that is not the fated mate trope. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I feel like it takes away some autonomy from the characters. That's just my personal opinion, but that's why it's my least favorite trope. Plus, I feel like it's really overplayed right now. ACOTAR made it really popular, and now everyone's kind of just fucking doing it, and like, just because something works, to each their own, I guess. To each their own. So it's not like an author or a story thing. That's like a me thing. It's a personal pet peeve of mine. Like, I just feel like the fated mates trope is so overplayed that when she dropped that in 75% into the books, I was like, God damn it. I just wanted the slow burn romance from childhood friends to lovers. Because I loved how they were like constantly like pulling against their attraction with each other, but they're like, no, we shouldn't, but no, I love you, but no, we shouldn't. There's sometimes I just want to smack them and be like, oh my God, just be together, God damn it. I was invested because I was invested in the characters. I really, really enjoy them. I think it was well done. I could have done with a few less of the smutty scenes, honestly. That's just because, like, it's like, meh. The one big smutty scene at the end was okay, but all the other ones I felt like took away from, like, that eventual blow up of them. Again, I like slow burn. So when everything just culminates and builds into this one perfect moment, I like that. I don't need all the other stuff. Just not for me personally. But I still enjoy the story way more than I thought it would. And I even said, Gina, you need to read this book. You're gonna love it. I followed that up. Instead of ending my month with Cardcaptor Sakura, I read Cardcaptor Sakura second. My daughter really wanted me to read Cardcaptor Sakura to her at night for bedtime. So alongside reading my son's book to him, we started taking turns between what he wants me to read and what she wants me to read. So Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 9, which is the end of the original arc, I loved it. My daughter loved it. They loved looking at the pictures. That was what I read to them at bedtime. So it was a whole lot of fun. I love Cardcaptor Sakura. We have to finish watching Clear Card. They need to finish making Clear Card into, a series. Right now, my daughter's kind of obsessed with Project Hail Mary, so we've just watched Project Hail Mary like almost every day. We're probably going to watch it tonight. I bet you. I bet. Not that I'm complaining. I fucking love that movie and I fucking love that book. So, no complaints here. Follow that up with The Demonic Inventions of Orly Blake. So, this is where I know reader fatigue got to me because I do like Mara Rutherford's story. And honestly, I think this is my favorite one from her. A lot of her other ones tend to be a little dry, a little dense. And this one had more humor. It had more liveliness to it. And I recognize that early on, probably in chapter 2, I'm just like, oh, we're being funny. We're being witty. I like this. These characters are very different from other books that she's written that I've read from her, like A Multitude of Dreams. I love that book, but it is dry. It's gothic. It's a gothic retelling of, The Mask of Red Death. Poe. I love Poe. But this one's really different and it's really unique, and I like the tone to it. But that first quarter of it, I was reading it slower. Like, it took me 2 weeks to read this book. I mean, the last week it only, took me really 3 and then 5 days. It took me 5 days because I don't read it on the weekend. But really, the way I read those last my last 2 days, I blew through it. I only read it during my lunch breaks. So for 45 minutes each day, and I was able to finish it. Whereas those other 3 days, I just didn't have the energy to read. I just didn't have it. But it was a really good book. I blew through that ending. I was so fucking mad when I got to the end. I cursed out the author on Instagram, and I'm like, I need book 2 fucking now. And she laughed. She laughed about it. I was just like, how dare you? I have to wait till next year to read this? No! Especially because it was an arc that was sent to me from the publisher. So, just wanted to damn it, the cliffhanger at the end of this book. But I thought the characterization was really good. I like the banter. I like the wittiness. I like this unique concept of invention leading to demonic, not possession, but demons coming alive. Anytime you invent something or anytime you're innovative, there's a curse on the land. So demons materialize, different types of demons. And I'm like, oh, that is a whole discussion all on its own. But I like that concept and I thought it was really interesting. So I really did enjoy the book. All right. These are the 2 books that put me in a reading slump. Because I was audiobooking them. So of course, my best ride. And that's probably why I was so exhausted. The Tower of Swallows and The Lady of the Lake. Oh my god. I don't know what it is about these Witcher books, but I was just not feeling it. I just wasn't. And I'm so sad because I read the first 2, Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, and I still remember them. Every single one of those little stories, I remember them and I love them. They're amazing. I thought they were so good. Right? But they are also, they're just short stories. Which I don't really read a whole lot of anthologies and short stories. So the fact that I loved it so much says a lot. Because I don't I don't read a whole lot of anthologies and short stories. I have some, I just haven't read them, and I don't always read them, because, I don't know. I feel like I have to be in the mood, you know, to read them, and I'm never, like, in the mood. I just want to read a book. I think my problem with the Witcher books is there's so much side questing, and I just want the characters to get on with the story and fucking get Cirilla back. Lady of the Lake was better, because finally everything's just coming ahead. You know, everything's finally coming together. We're reuniting. Geralt is a man whore. I said this to my husband, and he's like, yeah, that's Geralt for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He deserves all the shit Yennefer gives him. I just, you know, Tower of Swallows was the worst. That one just really put me in a reading slump. And that one just, like, mentally exhausted me, and I was just so tired when I was reading it. I just wanted it to end. Wasn't that terrible? My husband looked it up online, and he's just like, well, everyone says it's the best in the series. I'm like, well, you know what? I disagree with that sentiment. This is the one that I feel like dragged the most. And then when I got into Lady of the Lake, I was like, oh, okay. It was better. It was better, but I was still, like, in that reading slump. I just didn't love them. They were okay. 3 stars. Solid 3 stars each of them. Because I like the world building. I like the characterization. I just feel like it lacks so much. I don't know. The pacing was just not there for me. I don't know if it's a translation thing or what. I just wanted it to end. I just wanted it to be over. So I read those 2 back to back. You know, I probably should have taken a break between them. In all honesty, I should have. But I just wanted to be done with the series. So I didn't do that. Oh, God. And I'm really disappointed. Because, you know, I really wanted to love the books as much as I love the first 2. You know, Last Wish and Sword of Destiny. I really wanted to love the books as much as I loved those 2. Because those 2, solid 5 stars. Each one. Each one of those. But then books 1 through, what was this, 5? I just, 3 stars, each one of them. Too much side questing. I just want to go back to, I just want the story. Not so much side questing, just the story. When I go into side quests, I want it to be my choice. So I think I'll stick with the video games. I am going to finish the series. I am going to read Seasons of Storm, especially since that's a standalone and it's different. I'm just going to take a whole huge break this July. I'm just going to take a break and read a couple of other things before I really get back into that. After those 2, I read The Escape Game. So this was an sent to me by the publisher. They sent me a final proof, which is great because I came with all the sprayed edges and everything. I really just wanted to read it because it was Marissa Mayer, and I fucking love Marissa Mayer. So I didn't know how I was going to do, because this is not a fairy tale retelling. It's contemporary, it's a mystery, and it was great. And I was like, oh my god, I'm keeping this. Usually I'll, like, give them away to my book club. But I'm like, keeping mine, this one and Orly Blake. I'm keeping these 2. Because it was so good. I liked the little pictures of the escape room. I was invested to the point where I took my phone to take a picture of a message so that I could invert it so I could decipher the message myself before the characters did. I mean, I was immersed in solving this murder mystery and also these murder games because they're on a TV show and, you know, it's the escape game. You know, can you escape I would never personally go into an escape room just because I have severe anxiety and claustrophobia. You know, when I go to conventions and there are too many people, I always have to, like, walk outside after about 10 minutes because I just get so absolutely overwhelmed. And then just being, like, trapped in a room, it's like my brain would not function enough to solve anything. So I had to live vicariously through these characters, and it was so much fun. It was fast-paced. Did not see that coming. Those plot twists at the end were just bang, bang, bang. Ooh, those are nice snaps. Bang. So they just kept coming. and they kept catching me off guard. Like, even in hindsight, I can't say, oh yeah, we were totally leaning towards that. Like, no, not at all. However, they made sense. Like, the reveal at the end made absolute sense. It didn't feel like it came out of left field, but there was no real like, I guess you could say there was some foreshadowing to it, but it wasn't obvious. Like, you have to really think about it. So it was honestly really, really fun. Energized. The ending said to be continued, so I'm like, okay. So am I gonna get a book 2? Because I want a book 2. I would love a book 2 with these characters. I love these characters. They were fun. They were great. It was great. I followed that up with my book club pick of Flame and Fury. Honestly, that was such a good book. I love that it was different. It's about phoenixes and phoenix racing and, you know, phoenix conservation. I'm like, this is great. Obviously, you knew there was something wrong with the organization Kel and Coop were enlisted in. Sorry, coffee break. Obviously, there was something wrong, right, with that organization. But it was still, like, so well done. The ending kind of broke my heart a little bit. The ultimate ending, the epilogue, leaves some room to interpretation. Like, is she back? Is she not back? I don't know. I'm being hopeful. You know? But it was just a whole lot of fun to read. I personally really enjoyed it. I think my only gripe is, and if you read along with me, you know what my gripe is. My main complaint is we're going from enemies to lovers, right? Like, Kel and Coop cannot stand each other. But every time that they make headway with one another, they take like 10 steps back or 5 steps back. And every time they like butt heads again, you can tell every time they do, it loses more and more bite to it. But honestly, I just wanted them to focus more on developing the friendship between them, that building friendship, before we went headlong into the romance aspect of the story. That's my only complaint, honestly. But I like the fast-paced story. I like that your villain at the end is not redeemable. He's not, but you can understand where he's coming from. But he's not redeemable, really. I liked the plot twist at the end. Did not see that coming. Not at all. That caught me completely off guard. I was like, what? So, completely caught off guard. But I liked it because it led towards the ending that was really, really emotional. But yeah, lots of good plot twists at the end. Fast paced. And it was unique because it's dealing with phoenixes. You don't, everyone, you know, not that I'm complaining, Token Dragon Girl here. We see a lot of dragons in fantasy. This one's different. It's phoenixes. And I like that it was different. And I like that it had like this kind of modern feel to it as well. It is its own world. There is Phoenix. It has its own mythology and magic and fantasy to it. But it has a contemporary urban feel to it as well, which I think worked really, really well for the story. So, very interesting story. Ooh, okay. I followed that up with every exquisite thing. Ooh. I love Laura Steven. I think I'm just like her new fan. I still hate the first book I read from her, which was Society for Soulless Girls. I'm going to tell everyone it's a Jekyll and Hyde retelling. Don't read it. Do not read that one. However, this one is a Dorian Gray retelling, and holy crap, it was perfect. I fucking love this book. I was worried, because I'm like, I like her fantasies. I don't know if I'm going to like this one, because the last time she did the Gothic retelling, I hated it. Oh god, super nervous. I went into it really, really nervous, so I only read about 30, this was one of my 30-page-a-day reads. Ooh, I'm singing its praises. I had the arc. What did I do with the arc? I'm going to give it to my book club. Someone from book club can have it. What am I going to do? Now that I give it away, I'm going to go fucking buy it. Just so I can have a trophy on my shelf. Because that book was phenomenal. First, I think I'm biased because the love interest is a D&D player. And she's absolutely adorable. Catalina, adorable. your main character has alopecia as well. She's struggling. Mom's a model. There's a whole lot that's going on, but it makes sense. It's so well done. It's so well paced. And it's so absolutely fucking relatable. I cannot wait to do my full review on it because I have so much to say. It's so relatable. It's so relevant. It's just powerful. And I thought it was just so well done. Absolutely. If you like gothic retellings, this one's Dark Academia. It's sapphic. It's Portrait of Dorian Gray. And it's fucking amazing. And I absolutely fucking love it. I love it. Everyone needs to read it. And that's all I have to say on that. I followed that up with Local Heavens. This was another retelling. I read this for my friend Jeff's book club. My brother from another mother. He just discovered that that's his name in my phone. He's like, that's my name in your phone. I'm like, yeah. Like, duh. He's like, I love that. I'm like, yeah. So, right. It is a cyberpunk retelling of The Great Gatsby. I will never like Daisy. Ever. I will never like her. Ever. I feel so bad. I think I will always feel bad for Gatsby. And I feel bad for Nick as well. More so in this one than, in the original. Because we are leading into the queer aspect of the story. Gatsby always had like those queer undertones. Did Nick have feelings for Gatsby or, an admiration of him? So I like that this book leaned into that. But not until like the end. Oh God, it broke my heart. Because Gatsby's gonna die at the end. Like, that's what's gonna happen. I like the cyberpunk aspect of the story. I've watched walkthroughs of Cyberpunk 2077. I've never played it because I suck at first person. And I know if I try to play it, I will get so absolutely fucking frustrated and just want to throw the controller at the screen. I'm like, you know what? That's what walkthroughs are for. That's what walkthroughs are for. I can like kind of, play it, not actually play it. I get really frustrated with first persons. I really fucking do. Like, I have absolutely no, like, depth perception, okay? I just can't do it. I suck at them. So, I like the cyberpunk aspect of it. I'm so mad I'm not going to be there for his book club. I have this whole, like, man, I had a whole outfit planned, and I'm coming back from a vacation that day, and I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to make it. Oh, I'm so mad. It's such a good book. I'm Skyping in. Don't worry. I'm Skyping in for this book club. It's such a good book. I thought it was so well done, so well executed. I hate the US cover, so I'm going to see if I can just get the Waterstones cover, because I fucking love. If I can get a special edition of this book, I will do so, because I love this book so fucking much. It was so well done. It was executed to perfection. I mean, I love when retellings just like get it. They get it. This one and every Exquisite thing, they understood the message and they reinterpreted it in their own way without losing the essence of the original story, but also making something completely new and completely fresh. And I really think that Local Heavens did that so perfectly. I think the author captured who these characters were and reinvented them in a way that made sense for this new setting. The cyberpunk aspect, the whole world building, it worked so absolutely fucking well. Like, oh my God, it was so good. There's so much I need to say that I will save for my full review, which will come soon. Because I will be giving it a full review. Like, whew, it's so good. And then the last book I read was Ballad of Falling Dragons. You guys know I absolutely love, and I sing the praises of When the Moon Hatched all the time. And you know what I realized? This is why I liked When the Moon Hatched so much. Because you can literally divide that book in half. That first half of the book is fantasy, with some romance. And then the last half of the book is romantasy. This one's swapped. It's completely switched. And that's what my struggle was with it. The first half of the book was more romantasy, and it was really leaning into the romance between Reeve and Con, which is fine. I like these characters, you know? And he's trying to help her, you know, get past her trauma, whatnot, so forth. But there came a point where I just got frustrated, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much more that's going on in the world besides your love for each other. Like, come on. Move on. And that happens around the halfway point. And I'm like, when I finished the book, I was like just kind of standing there reflecting, because the first half of the book, I was like, not so much struggling to get into it, but I was reading it slower because I was more interested in Kazari and the Scavenger King and Veya, you know, their perspectives. Anytime we got to Reeve and Khan, I was just like, okay, come on, like, let's move on with it already. Let's move on. I get it, you guys love each other, but I really want to focus more on the actual story, because there is a story. And that last half of this, once I hit that halfway point, I blew through it. Like, that last half of the book, that tension, that pacing, revelation upon revelation. My friend Jeff was really worried. He's like, there's lots of questions, and I don't know that they're going to get answered in book 2. And I'm like, they are. Do not worry. Questions will be answered. You will not be left open. Because he read his Depleted Crystal Bloom series, and he's like, every book doesn't really answer all the questions, you know, and this series isn't. And I'm like, you don't have to worry about that here. It does leave off on a cliffhanger, book 2, Ballad of Falling Dragons. There's no way around it. It is a cliffhanger. I don't know how many books are going to be in the series. Maybe a trilogy, maybe more. There's no news. Which kills me, because that ending, I was like, what the? Jaw to the floor. Jaw to the floor. But that last half of the book, I loved that part as much as I loved the first half of the first book. And I didn't even think about it, you know, with the first book. I didn't even think about that romantasy aspect at all, really. Because that first half of the book is really heavily fantasy, you know. I guess with some romance, it's not until that halfway point, you know, when she's at the trial and he's like, I will fight on your behalf, you know. It's not till we get to there that's like, that's where we go. But I was already so invested in the story by that point, and the world and the characters, that it didn't even really register to me that shift from fantasy to romantasy, you know? Whereas with this one, it was so obviously romantasy to begin with, and then that halfway point, you're like, here we are, back to the fantasy. So I like romantasy. I don't mind it. I just really need a story. You know, I really need something more to happen than just, it's like, okay, I get it, you guys love each other. Can we move on? Like, I don't mind romantasy, but there is a reason why I tend to read it at a slower rate, because I'm not always invested in it. Like, there needs to be more for me, you know? There needs to be more focus on the story. Like I said, the parts of this book that I love the most early on were Kazari and Veya and the Scavenger King, even though he's a despicable human being. You know, I really like that we got to see Pyrrhus' perspective, which was really cool. So we're getting a lot of different perspectives in this book, which I thought was really, really cool and really interesting. And I think with the first book, what worked as well was you also had the diary entries, you know, that really broke up the story and the pacing. So it was just, I didn't love it as much. I can't give it 5 stars. 4.5. Solid 4.5 stars. And that's really just because I wanted more fantasy versus romantasy. You know what I mean? I think I'm one of those people that has to be in the mood for romantasy in order to, like, really enjoy it. And this book, you know, I like the switch, but you can definitely see that halfway point for both books. It's like, we're switching genres here. Okay, cool. But I didn't even register it with the first book, whereas with this book, I really did register that a lot. But, I mean, I still enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. I need book 3 in my hands right now. In any case, those were the 10 books I read this month. I know I rambled a little bit. I'm sorry. I didn't prep my notes. I just haven't had the time to prep my notes. So thanks for sticking with me. Let me know your thoughts on any of the books that I read. If you read them, your opinions. What did you guys read? You know, I definitely want to know. So here's to another month. God, who knows what my TBR has in store for me in July. I haven't even finished putting together my list. It's definitely going to be like 18 to 20 books because I'm psychotic. But whatever. To each their own, right? Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your welcoming friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.